Welcome to our new series, The 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie.
So the funny thing is, later on New Year's Day, I was like, I still had time, and I'm kind of going through, and I went to actually, on Disney Plus, and I saw this documentary, Jim Henson's Idea Man, and I'm like, I'm very curious about this, and I absolutely love this. I grew up a Jim Henson fan. I grew up on
Yeah,
Sesame Street. I grew up on the Muppets. We've talked about the Dark Crystal. We talked about
many
Labyrinth,
times.
Fraggle Rock,
Yes.
and
Oh,
I was
Fraggle
like,
Rock, love it.
this whole thing is my childhood. Like sometimes I forget how much Jim Henson's characters influenced me. And so I'm like, I gotta check this out. And this was a great story about how he got started in TV. He didn't even start as a puppeteer. He just wanted to get into TV. They were looking for puppeteers. He came with his own puppets, and he morphed into it because he
What?
had all these ideas. Yes, I'm dead serious. It also goes in personal story how he met his wife. Again, puppeteers, and just so it's a great mix of like the stuff he did that influenced our lives, especially people in our age group, and just the shit he was going through behind the scenes with his family. Like you felt so bad for Jim Henson, but overall, rewatching this, and they're showing old clips that I remember. I felt so nostalgic. I felt like a kid again. Like they showed how he started the Muppet Show and the Muppets, and like I got goosebumps hearing that. When they talked about Dark Crystal, I did. They said, yeah, some of the studio execs didn't like the idea because obviously we've talked about this, the darker tones to it, but it was a story he wanted to tell, and it actually made some money, so they were fine. I didn't realize Labyrinth was actually a commercial disappointment. Rentals is where it made its money, but in theaters it bombed. And I'm like, oh my god,
I could see that.
I love Labyrinth, but it's because he was always willing to take the chances. He wanted to tell the stories that he saw. So watching this, it was like reliving my childhood. Soto. Again,
Oh,
I
wow.
mentioned all that. I rewatched how he got started in Sesame Street because all he did for Sesame Street was the puppets. Like he didn't want anything more to do. He basically almost worked for free. He's like, I'm fine with this. But it helped him get to the Muppet Show. It helped him be able to create more. But it's kind of sad to, you see what his life was like because it shows how he met Frank Oz because it started with him and his wife. Then his wife got out of the business to raise their 4 kids, and so that
Man,
part is kind of
four
sad
kids.
too. Yeah, and a lot of them are in the business in different areas. One of them kind of continues puppeteering. I think one of them kind of does more like the accounting and shit. Like studio execs.
hmm
But yeah, so it's weird for me to say a documentary, but this documentary was so freaking good. Anyone that loved anything Jim Henson, I have to say, needs to watch this. This was so amazing. This was an amazing story
Nice.
just about a man's life. Because I'll be honest, outside of his work, I really did not know much about him. And like I
hmm
watched this, and it was well done, Soto.
Nice. And you saw this, this is available on.
Disney Plus. I saw this on Disney. It's one
Nice.
of the subscriptions I had. So yes, it was free. I was kind of just flipping off. I kind of thought I was going to go Marvel for a sec, and again, this popped up, and I
Oh,
was like, well, it happens. I'm like, do I want to watch this? And I was trying to find a second movie that I might have missed. Or a Star Wars thing because I know last year you talked about Solo a little bit.
I did. I saw it. Yep.
But when this popped up, I'm like, I need to see this. But yeah, Soto, again, anyone that has grown up on anything Jim Henson needs to watch this. But the question is, then I'm ranking, I'm like, God, is this better than Clerks 3? Because it's weird because you got this, silly comedy,
Interesting.
great
Interesting.
documentary. But I think
Yeah.
the nostalgia one, and this was actually really good. I actually put Jim Henson's Idea Man above Clerks
Wow.
3. Because again, Clerks 3, though not, like I said, better than the second one, not as good as the first, made me laugh. Again, and I know my age group, like if my daughter might have, her age group see Jim Henson Idea Man, she won't feel the nostalgia for it because she didn't grow up on a lot of these things like I did. So I know
Mm-hmm.
that has a little bit to do with why I put it number one, or at least above
Hey,
Clerks
it's
3.
huge.
Um,
Yeah.
so yes, but for those who did grow up on Sesame Street, the Muppets, anything Jim Henson, and it's good. It's a good, you just learn so much about this man who had so much influence on our childhood and
Yeah.
all these ideas he had about TV and business. Like he was just brilliant. He wasn't just funny; he was brilliant. but yeah, I again, if you get a chance, I would say, take a look, especially if you grew up on the Muppets. So,
I
but
sure did. Wow. Okay. I didn't even know this existed.
I
And it's
neither did
better than
I.
Clerks 3.
In my opinion, I get why some people might. Again, documentaries are tough. They're hit or miss. And again, like I said, not everyone grew up on Jim Henson, so some people might not like it. But like I said, I did, and I think because that nostalgia feel. Every time they showed something new that he did, I literally like goosebumps. I was back as my childhood.
Wow.
So
I know he
so
passed away early, from what I understand. I mean, he
yeah,
wasn't.
he was in
I
his
didn't know,
40s, I
but
think, 40s, 50s. I don't know exactly when he passed away. Like
ah,
I'm gonna,
yeah.
but yes, he unfortunately passed away. But his kids, yeah, like I said, he passed away in 1990. So if
Okay.
a
Yep.
quick 54, he was 54 when he passed, or
That's
almost,
young.
or
Yeah.
53. He was almost 54, based on birthdays. So yeah, I know he passed away young. But yes, this was
Wow.
it's definitely worth checking out.